All right, this right here is Dennis, and yeah, we are working together now for I believe it's all like over 2 years already, right? So
Yes, I think so.
if you can tell a little bit about like yourself, where you started and where you at right now, this would be amazing to give everyone an idea like how since you got coached for me, how much it helped you and improved your overall life.
I think back then my leanest was like 74 kilos or so. My leanest diet, the last phase we did was 69 kilos and by far more muscular. So I think the biggest progress overall was definitely my form. Like I achieved a way more leaner body with way more muscle. Um, and but also learning how to diet properly and building properly, and like every diet and every building phase is like we get to the next step, like a level better and a level better and a level. You can feel the difference from like you remember the first shooting we did after the diet, and
Yes.
now after like the next diet we did, way leaner and more muscular, and it was kind of easier to get that than it was before. So I would say the form was one big thing, definitely better, but also the tools I got and learned and the skills I developed about how to diet properly and how to build properly, and of course also the training. But I think that's maybe a bit more like a secondary part. I think that the whole dieting part was like the biggest impact on my body.
That is amazing to
Yeah.
hear. And like, what do you believe was like the biggest change since you started working with me? Well, like, what was your biggest struggle and where I helped you the most with?
I mean, you know that I work a lot, so I run my business, so I just lots of work. Then now I have a child, so I think the biggest helpful part was just that I don't have to think about what exercises to do, what to focus on my calories. So like whether it's just like I know what to do and I don't have to think about it. So I think that's for me is the biggest value in this coaching. And then of course the constant feedback from you on the form and like weekly on the where the diet is going, where the weight is going. Sometimes when I'm like, is this a bit too much weight or is my form getting bad or so? It's like a good correcting of my mindset in the moment if I have some doubts or so. So this is always very helpful. I would say that. Yeah.
And yeah, and
Yeah.
you're doing an amazing job with like executing everything as well.
Thank
How
you.
would you say your training improved? Like since sending me a lot of training feedbacks, do you feel like your training also improved quite a bit when
Yeah,
it comes
one thing I
to
rarely think about, but like in the beginning, I definitely always had left shoulder pain, like from I don't know from back. I couldn't properly bench press, so I always trained around it. And what we focused on early on is like pretty, I wouldn't say slow movements, but quite controlled movements, and developing the range of motion more and more. And I would say I had a pretty decent range of motion, but it like went a whole nother level and like controlled wise a whole different level. So um I wouldn't say it's picture perfect, but my execution is like on a high level, I would say, like because
yeah,
like the constant feedback on form and stuff, like if you go in a gym, I would say now I'm probably top 5% of execution when it comes to exercises.
just have to look around at the
Yeah.
gym and it's sometimes crazy to see how how like others
That's
like
true.
train. Who would you recommend like the coaching service? Like getting coached by me, like in like what sense do you feel like people would benefit the most from it or who exactly?
So I think the people who would benefit the most, like a lot of people would benefit from this, but I think who would benefit the most is people who want to like really achieve a high level of their potential, because otherwise I think it's kind of wasted a bit your effort. So yeah, I think like people who really want to build muscle, people who really want to get like to a level with their form where they couldn't get themselves. For example, I dieted, but I never really bulked for a long time properly without putting too much fat on and stuff. I never really did it for a long time, and I kind of regret not doing it way earlier because I think I would have been way more muscular by now if I like did it from the beginning and not have wasted so much time in the gym. So yeah, I would to make it short, if you do not want to waste your time in the gym and want to make real progress, Dirk's the guy.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you so much.